Ćao i dobrodošli još jednu epizodu Dive In podcasta. Kako sam krenula sa strancima i vidjela da je izazvalo zaista veliko interesovanje, uhvatila sam jednog Argentinca ovde kod nas koji je došao opčinjen lepotom istorije Srbije, kulture, jezika. Ovo gostovanje je bilo spontano dogovoreno. Fakundo je došao pre sigurno 3-4 meseca u Srbiju i došao je da bi istraživao određene istorijske stvari, ali na kraju ostao kao turista i zaljubio se u našu zemlju. Šta to Fakundo ima da kaže o Srbiji i kakav je život u Argentini i percepcija nas tamo, ili istorijski i kulturološki, da li smo slični, reći će nam danas. Fakundo, hola!
Querida, un gustazo. Gracias por invitarme.
Bienvenido a mi podcast y bienvenido a Serbia.
Masha, gracias por invitarme. Estoy muy feliz y muy contento de conversar con vos.
Ok, ahora vamos a hablar en inglés.
Perfecto.
Para
great.
que la audiencia que pueda entender. Ok.
Idemo.
Okay, Facundo. When did you came in Serbia and why and where are you from?
The first time I came in 2018. I am from Argentina. Córdoba is the second grad of my country. It's like Novi Sad in a certain way. Of course, bigger in inhabitants, but in the proportional, it's the same. And my first time here in Serbia was in 2018, and now I returned 2 months ago because I received an invitation from an Institute of History here. So I came to share my works. I am a history teacher. I work like a researcher, and in that situation, I came to share my works. And of course, I am having a good time here, working, being like a tourist as well. So it's like a mixed thing. But the main things that what I am here is to try to understand the mentality of Serbian people and figure out why, at least for my case, Serbian mentality and Argentina mentality is similar. Different cultures, different yesic, but similar way of život, you know.
How is the život in Argentina?
Oh, it's budala, but you have to. And now, in the first time that Argentina is a really bellic country, you have if you go to the north to the south, you have more than 4,500 kilometers. So every region, every province is particular. And have their own costumes, but Argentina is a really crisol, it's a really mix of cultures. We have natives, we have a lot of Spanish people that came after the conquer, but we have a lot of European people that go to live mainly in the main grad, so you can find, I think, whatever you want. And it depends the region, it depends the mentality, but in general, all the central area where it's more than 60% of population, Buenos Aires, Córdoba, and Rosario, we are like in a certain way like a mix of Italian culture, Spanish native. It's really, really mixed, you know.
And you live in Córdoba?
I am from Córdoba. We say La Docta, that is like our surname. Docta came from doctus, from the Latin rece, and it's related with the doctor, because we have one of the most study university in all Argentina. So, and we are in the middle, like Shumadia, we are in the middle, and people from all parts of Argentina came to study in Córdoba. So Argentina is a crazy mix of culture. Córdoba is that plus, you know?
Okay. Why did you decide to study history? Why did you see yourself in history?
Oh, that's a great. I think, you know, in Spanish we have a phrase that is, if you want to make fun God, tell about your business. Si quieres hacer reír a Dios, cuéntale de tus planes. And I think we always have a rational way to do or to think our life, but we have something like Serbian people say innate, you know, something innate, you know.
Yes.
And I always try to be careful about that. But in the rational way, you know, when I was Mali, my grandfather, he was born in Montmartre in France, and he take off with the Nazis, took Paris. And when I was really Mali, since I have memory, he talked to me about Alexander the Great, about Charles Mann, about the history of Europe. And I think that was one of the pillars about how I get interest in history since I was young. Then I have like a crazy life in other things, but I finish in that career. I think that was one of the most influent things that I have in the rational. But in that is another thing.
Tell me about growing up in Argentina.
Oh, it's crazy. When I was in Sponzori 15 days ago, I can think about Jokic being a child with the bike in all the green area there and Blizzard the Reka and so on. And I looked child there, and I think I was remember my childhood because I grew up in a village. It's called Rio Ceballos. It's a city from 30,000 habitantes, 30,000 inhabitants.
30,000 inhabitants, okay.
And you know that I put something like in Sponzori in my case, at least in my childhood, we were free. We can go to the bike, we can go to play football. That is like the
football, of course.
And it was a kind of experience of sloboda. But well, now the main grads are more complicated to live. I think here people from provincia have nostalgia when came to Belgrade, and veliki grads have, that's another dynamic. But in my case, at least, growing up in this medium village have given me that possibility to be free, to go by walk in my high school, or first people you met, was really like between innocence and between being free of, not so be aware of what people say, what people think. That kind, at least, was my childhood. But
in Serbia, when we talk about South America and even including Argentina, we are always like, oh, that's full of criminals and it's bad, it's corrupted. Isn't it like that? Let's demystify a bit about Argentina.
Well, about the corruption in the policy, I can tell you that 100% is a sad situation we have. I think, but
isn't it safe to visit? If I wanted to go to Buenos Aires, would I be safe?
Yeah, well, that is another. Malo. It's like, how can I tell you? It's not safe like Belgrade of Europe, that's for sure. But in the other case, we are people in the Belgrade, they are mediatized so much, and they are looking all the times news that they are going to steal you, they are going to rob you, they are going to rap.
Yes.
So it's like it's a thing that happened, but it's really magnificent by the media. So I think it's less safe than Serbia, but it isn't a war place. That's half and half. You have to be aware, but it's not so bad like media try to show to the people in the outside.
Can you tell me what's the secret ingredient of your such a good meat?
Oh, well, here, meso in Serbia and Argentina.
Well, let's compare meso in Serbia and meso in Argentina.
Argentina, less pork than in Serbia.
I think we're more fatty and a bit more oily in terms of preparing it.
Yes, totally correct.
Yes, you're more dry.
More dry, but it's totally correct, the appreciation you said. Now we are more with pork and pilatina in the popular places because the economy is going down. But when I was Mali, we always eat beef. Nothing more than beef, good meat. Now the eating of people start to change for that situation, more than economic way. But
beef is amazing. Beef.
Yeah. You have another like.
But why is it that so? It's the food maybe for the animals or what?
I think yeah, and I think the zemlja that grows have good composals, and it's really it's a really good thing to understand. But not, for example, that's a particular thing, because the best we have a thing is called quota Hilton. The best meso in Argentina go to the exterior. You can find a really good one, but the really good one go abroad. $4 because it's the main entrance of dollar. That's a pity, because if you produce this, your narod have to.
Yes.
But the situation is that not happen like that. we are really in a really bad economic situation, and government needs dollars, and the main entrance of dollar is meat, is agriculture situation. So they have that agreement to try to solve the economy. But it's a pity. It's a good measure. It's really good measure as well, but it's not the premier one.
Yes. What's the secret sauce with football?
Oh.
Is it because you run free since you're Mali? Or what's the thing? Every Argentinian is the best in the world, and it has been since that forever. So why?
I think I think now capitalism in the last 20 years, everything is more measured, everything is more organized, everything have to be arranged and organized. But when all the Europeans came in the 20th century, Argentina was a really belly place. And in every hood, in every place in the Grat, you have really open green place. And people and Mali kids start to run in there, and we call potreros. Like Maradona, he grows in a potrero. It wasn't like a field like this, in a match, take it. It was an open place to run, and it wasn't a good ground. So
it's the same as us with basketball. We have those all around the courts, and that's why we are the best in it. We have the MVP in the NBA, and that's the same with the football.
I think yes, but I think that that potreros, that place of the field, was really got the possibility to these kids to understand how to play, how to be quickly than the other one. It wasn't a safe place. Everything was organized. And Maradona it's a perfectly example of a guy who started to play in a potrero. Messi is another thing. Messi is the machine. The machine rise in Barcelona. He had problems to grow up, but he was really young. He get a superior do, but in that way, in the Serbian that I was telling before, in that kind of mentality. Maradona is another kind of thing, but I think football is something.
Maradona is one of the greatest ever. I think nobody can beat that ever.
Nobody. No, but Maradona, it's much more than football. It's like Djokovic. For me, it's the same. Nole is...
It's a symbol of the sport.
Of course, and when people say 24, 23, 22, go to the 25, okay, that number is really good, but it's not only the number because you're great. I think what Nole do last year when he was persecuted in Australia, he had that old bad situation. He's a star guy in the court, and he was persecuted, put it in quarantine and so on. He can't play there, and he checked him jedan godina, and he went in the same place, and he played in this year one of the most great Australia Open. I saw to him. So for me, that situation of defeat the adversities is much more than have 27, 45 or 19. For me, for that situation, he's the number one. And all the politics situation that I'm really I really like when a sportman and an athlete have that courage to talk in public about that, because you're not a machine. We are human beings. We have a body, we have mind, we have soul, and we have spirit. So it's another way to understand that you are a human being.
Facundo, what brought you to Serbia, and how did you come to be here, and why do you love it? Let's talk about my country a bit
That
now.
is the most complicated question you can ask me, and since I am here, everyone tell me, dude, why? I think I have a really connection with history, with sport, with culture, with cinematographic thing that I really like. All the
you love Kusturica, yes.
Yeah, and Goran Paskaljević, I Jelimir Jelnik, all the study, like all the Dragan Nikolic,
yeah.
and Milena Dravić, all that.
Oh my God, you know even about them?
Yeah, Bata and so on, yeah, of course. But in the 70s, I glad on that situation that will fulfill me. But that is one answer. The main one don't came in the cultural thing, because ne govorim srpsko, I am away on the culture, but the thing that I really enjoy and I am really feeling inside of me is that I have a connection in this zemlja, and I have a lot of things that happen to me in this time that are like, when you want to make empiric things that the life is saying you, look, be aware, you are from here and you are feeling here something that you can't understand. It's maybe Buddha thing that I'm trying to tell you, but it's not only rational things. I know that
you feel the energy, the vibe,
Yes. For example, the first day I came here, I was with my friend in the Spotovats. We went to the Godine, to the Vodopad place of the Spotovats. We were in the monastery there, and I was a friend from Sviđa, a really good friend that I met 5 years ago, and I was with her friends, and I feel like I say, I don't know if to you, Maša, something happened, but when you say, I think this situation is familiar for me.
Yes,
I am feeling not only comfortable and having a good time, but feeling like more deep than that, And I know that it's something deeper than that, and I came here to try to figure out. Till the moment I can't figure out, but keep going, keep going.
But first time you came, it was 2018, right? Why did you came that first time in Serbia?
I came more with a not only centralized in Serbia. I was traveling all the Balkans. I was in Slovenia, in Croatia, in Bosnia, here, Macedonia.
But you stayed here.
Greece. When I stayed here, I stayed for 20 days more or less, and I was all the east part. I was in central part.
But what did you do? Writing the history book?
Only having fun, meeting people.
So did you came first time as a tourist or something related to your job?
It was between vivencial thing and between tourists, not work at all. In that way, it was like only a hedonistic way of life. And Serbia, when I was here, I for example, maybe in your life, Maša, when you are going to meet someone, you are going to have some schedule in your life, you think this is going to be great, this is 10 or 10. But maybe when you think that, and it's 8 of 10, you feel disappointed because it was 10. When I came to Belgrade and to Serbia, I was saying this is going to be 10 on 10, and was 10 on 10. Do you know?
Yes.
My expectative was so high, and the thing that I experienced was so high.
But how did you got acquainted with Serbia before that? I mean, did you do the research? Did you do a research, or did you talk with people? Do you have Serbian friends in Argentina?
All of that. When I was in college, I was giving classes about the breakup of Yugoslavia. When I was in the high school, I used to...
What did they tell you then about breakup of Yugoslavia? I want to hear the different version of it, or...
It's good. Depends where you talk. A lot of people in the Ulica, they don't even know. They know Yugoslavia, but they will say, "Put me in the map." And what is Serbia? And they're going to say, "Oh, no." But in general, if you go to the college, the bad propaganda, the Western propaganda,
is even in Argentina.
It's strong in Argentina. Yes, it's a sad.
And we were the ones to blame, probably.
Oh yeah. Definitely. And that thing, it puts me really mad. And you met me, Maša. I am a passionate guy. When I talk about history, we talk about these issues. So I have so conflict that when I try to at least to put the other part of the history, to try to not to be a propagandistic guy, but at least to say, okay, you think that, I can tell you the other part, and maybe your part, my part can have an agreement. Impossible, but well, we are nebulous from the state, but we are in the same continent, the United States of America, and they have a lot of influence in policy in Latin America, and the propaganda spreads in all Latin America.
But anyhow, even if you heard the propaganda, you decided, no, that's not going to be the story of it. It must be something else. So I decided, I'm going to go to see that country for myself and see with my own eyes.
Yes, and I can notice it. It's not to put the in the rane, but
okay.
the finger in the wound. But for example, one of the Serbian guys that fulfill me in the history, in his way of life, and so on is Gavrilo Princip. And when I was in Sarajevo, I can understand why tourist people there were saying that he was a terrorist, and you can look how are structured in some places here that is at least if you want to sell me something, that's the thing that I want to sell you something to you, Masha. You know, I am not going to tell you the thing that I'm going to send to you is the best thing in the world. It's nothing like that. Try to be a little more clever. If you want to make some propaganda, you know, make it a little more. But they spread that things. For me, it's not good. I was in Latin Bridge saying, "Stop the tourist kids. I want to take a slicker with Gabriel and we'll do like this," because I feel like it was a tough situation.
But what happened then?
He was annoyed with me, but he don't say nothing, you know, because before that he was saying that we were in the bar of Tesla, you know, and that's the point. About Nikola Tesla, you can say how many things we can say about Tesla. We can talk here 40 hours, 2 days, about the history, about the family, about the
origin and the roots, and who is the father and who is the mother.
Well, but the only thing you are talking with people who came to visit, and the only thing you want to say that he's not Serb. Not tell me another thing, man. It's like, I know that he's 100% Serb about the family tradition, the father, the Pravoslavas, everything. But that's the point. If you want to lie me, at least lie me, but in a properly way, you know. And I was like, you know, what's crazy, the situation. But in fact of that, the thing that I love for Serbia, I love so many things here in Serbia, but is that people here in general, you're not plaće, you know, crying for the things, trying to show. If Serbian people want to feel victims, you can talk about the shooting in Kragujevac in the Second World War. You can talk about the front Thessaloniki in the First World War. You can talk about Tamodaleko. You can talk about the Karađorđe Rising. You can talk about the Ottoman occupation, Jasenovac. You can talk about so many things in the 90s. You can talk about, but nobody, you know the history, and everyone here, at least someone more.
Someone else, we know the history.
But you're not all the time crying for that. And that for me is Dostoevsky. That for me is the most dignity. And it's really good because in all relation, human relation, state relation, the state who is control the other one is because have the power of manipulate the other one. And how you manipulate between the guilt, you know.
Yes.
So that's for me is great because you can in your history can be put it all your energy in say, oh look, well
we are the victims of the world, we are the ones who are
that is not happening. That's for me totally respect, you know.
About writing your book, you said to me that you're writing history books, right?
Yeah.
And that you want to include some parts of Serbia, right, in it, or not? Do you understand correctly?
My work, I published 5 books in Argentina, are research books, history books about history of sports and clubs, sport clubs in Argentina. I wrote a lot of things related with Serbia, but I don't have yet, at least that clearness in my mind to say how I'm going to share the things that I want to do. I don't know if I am. It's like I don't want to put a auto-referential book. It's not my type, you know. It's nothing. Nobody gets matter what I experience. I have some issues. I don't want to make a book related, a structured book, you know, like in the night, in the seminonic historical. More easy to take it with topics, but and I have a lot of interviews, a lot of things that I want to, when I come to Argentina, be Polacco and start to analyze better. But I have that in my mind, like in the horizon, but till the moment I want it, but I am going to be a Pushtin, and then maybe it's going
I think, Facundo, you were in more cities than I were in Serbia, and this is my country. You've been, every time I text you, you're in another city with some other guys, you know, hanging out, experiencing the city and the history of the city. So which city can you put out as a unique, or you had unique experience, or each and every in Serbia? Which one?
I like...
Don't tell me Belgrade. For sure it's not Belgrade.
In Belgrade I was like 40 days. Look, when I was in Belgrade my first time, I have a strong feeling from here. For me, Belgrade, in really short answer is like a toxic girlfriend you have in the high school, you know. Belgrade is like, where are you? Where are you? You are with your friends. Came to your house. You're not. Stay with your friends. He's yelling you. Came with me, and maybe she's not nice. She's not Polaco because she's verso. She's yelling you.
That's Belgrade.
But when you, that is Belgrade. But when you go at the end of the night and you stay with her, you go to sleep, and you say, I love her, you know. I don't know why. But
that's how I feel my whole life.
You feel like that?
Yes.
You can't leave
because
it.
I came from Vojvodina. You've been in my village, Karađorđevo, and I came here as a student, and I was like, oh my God, will I ever get used to this fast living? It's, you know, in Vojvodina, everything is slow talking, slow drinking, till the morning, everything is slow pace. And when I came here, I was like, oh my God, this is like on a roller coaster for me.
Your energy is totally from Belgrade.
Yes, now it is. Now I assimilate it. It's not anymore Vojvodina.
you get costume.
Because I'm now in love with the toxic, not girlfriend, but boyfriend here. And I just say, also like you, I can just say I love Belgrade. It's the same feeling. Even you as a foreigner have the same feeling. But what about the rest of Serbia? You've been to Obrenovac, you've been to Sombor, you've been to villages.
Yeah, I have a deep feeling in Šumadija, in general.
Oh, Šumadija is like Tuscany.
Yeah. I was in Aranđelovac,
Topola,
Jagodina, and I have a really with the people. You know, I can hear not trying to. Okay, I'm going to take a slika to the monastery. I wasn't. I like
publish it to Instagram. No.
Put the energy in this, in knowing people, in understanding the mentality, and grow in that. And people from Šumadija in general that I met was like a really between the how can I tell you, between the tradition, between the good hospitality, open, and I like a lot of historical play. I have a really good time in the area. As well, for example, in all Republika Srpska, when I was in Banja Luka, was crazy mood, budala mood, you know. People in Banja Luka have friends there in the grad. And
when they hear that the foreigner is coming in, I think they even welcome you with the red carpet.
They are really open. Argentino, hermano, vení, te damos un abrazo. We're going to sacrifice to you.
I see.
Really good. Vojvodina is really I like a lot of places in Vojvodina. I like Sremska Mitrovica a lot of, in Bačka Palanka, Blizu the Reka. That places I really enjoyed. And I was like 30 days in Belgrade, and I remember the first day I was in Novi Sad, that is a big city. I've just noticed you put here and you notice the change, you know. You're like this. And when I came, I was 20 days in Novi Sad and Vojvodina, and 10 days in Republika Srpska, and I do Banja Luka, Belgrade. I was in Salansinska Stanica, Nemanja, ulica, only 2 minutes by walk, and I get in the mood of Belgrade in 2 minutes, you know. That is crazy.
Horning, yelling, cursing.
You know,
move, just move. Idemo,
you know.
Yes, that is. Facundo, you promised me that we were going to talk about that fact, and you gave me the permission to talk about that. In Serbia, like when I told my brother, I have an Argentinian guy, he's gonna come. No! Ask him about the Nazis and the refugee of the Nazis and what happened with Ante Pavelić, and you gotta talk about that if he allows you to. Since you allowed, let's talk about that fact that Argentinian people, or not the people, but the government at that point, refuged a lot of Nazis at the period. And even one of these areas.
We have a lot of Nazis in Argentina and a lot of Ustašas, sadly. That they Italianize their surnames to try to handle with the support of
They have Italian
Vaticans.
surnames now.
Yeah, we have with C, and they chop it and they try to Italianize, and they hide it. But I think that is for sure, because that exists, is the thing that is unnegable. But in the other hand, I think it's a bad propaganda from the state, you know, because a lot of Nazis go to the United States of America, you know, and in that period of time, they work in NASA. You have a lot of researchers from the German who go to NASA and so on to work. And in that period of our time, we have a really strong government who was against the England and against the state. It was our last sovereignish government. Was the government of Juan Domingo Perón and María Duarte de Perón, that they were a nationalist guy who have the...
But his wife, Eva Perón, how come that she was allowed to do all of that? I mean, she was the first lady of Argentina. She wasn't the most important one.
Eva Perón, she created a revolution in Argentina. She was, for me, one of the figures more important.
A female revolution. Yeah. She installed the female political parties. She installed a lot of those stuff.
Exactly. And she died in 1952, very, very young. And, the situation about the Peronismo is that, sometimes when you look geopolitical or history, it's not so difficult to look where, at least in my case, where size you have to stay. You open at least in Argentina, we open the newspaper, and if you look the embassy of Great Britain and States go for that way, I prefer being in that way. At least the guy who we and the people who are involved with a nationalist country, or we want to develop our industry and so on. So I think that situation returning with the Nazis and so on, it exists. But how I tell you before, we have the fourth city with more Jews in all the world is Buenos Aires. We have a lot of Syrian people, a lot of people who came from Lebanon, a lot of Italians, Spanish. You can find whatever you want. And Argentina is a really big country, and it's a really mix of culture in that way. And I'm really proud we never participate even in First World War, even in Second World War. So people who go to Argentina can be, how can I tell you, be free and be Polaco. They are not going to be persecuted for that. Maybe we have a bad economy, it's really bad economy. Maybe we have a lot of corruption. That is a really important question. I think our sociological response. But first of all, I think in Argentina is failing the politicians. The political, they don't have any connection with the reality of what is happening to the people. And when you are living like in a crystal palace and people is living in another place, if you are be a politician, you have to represent your neighborhood. You have to know what is feeling your neighborhood. And that dissociation about realities.
Are the politicians installed by the West in Argentina?
Yes, they have a lot of propaganda. For example, Argentina, Perón, we have 5 strikes, military strikes in the 20th century. 1930, 1943, 1955, 1966, 1976. 1943 and 1955 and 1976 were 2 strikes that were supported by England and the States against a government that maybe we have a lot of mistake, like every government, but it was a sovereign. We were a Sloboda country. We take our own decisions. We don't take any monetary fund to then go and to pay. So I think that situation, we always have that issue of our conscious state that they are want to handle the situation. Every empire in the world do that. So the presence are there, not only the States, China have a lot of impact now about the lithium situation with the cell phones in the north part of Argentina.
Do you have those lithium problems like we are fighting now? That in Serbia, is that happening in Argentina?
Yeah, in all the north part, Jujuy, Salta, we have big resource about that. And
are they doing the excavation of the lithium? They
yes.
are. And what about the rivers and everything?
A lot of contamination, but more with minery. We have all the Cordillera de los Andes. It's a big mountains that divide Chile and Argentina, and then you have a lot of development of minery that they blows up, the mountains. They wash with solid bad minerals to clean the gold and the things you take of the rocks, and that generate a lot of pollution. It's really bad. And suddenly our constitution, our last reform was in 1994. and that allow that these private
they come and do the
yes, and
digging.
they can handle and then can negotiate with governors, not with the president and with the legislative power of Argentina. So they are more easily get corrupt the politician, because you're not. One thing is handle a legislative power of a country. Another thing is handle a legislative power of a small province. It's like here, it's the same. It's not the same. Get corrupt the legislative power of Serbia, go to one province, go to Somalia and talk with authorities. It's more easy for these companies to make that. And corruption happened there.
Is people fighting against that? Do you have protests or not? Are they even aware of what is happening? Because media have a nice way to hide all of that.
Totally. I think Argentina, we have a lot history of protests, about fight. Cordoba, where I came, we have the Cordobazo in 1969. We put end of the fourth strike that started in 66. That this government started to down in 1969 about the protest with students and workers that were in my city. We have the university reform. We have a lot of things about that. I think that in the last 20 years, that situation is not so good. People is changing. People is more maybe lazy, or not lazy. Maybe we are like resignation. I don't know the name in English.
Resignation is resignation.
Resignation.
Apathy. Why?
And I look here the same.
Yes, I was about to ask you. Did you see the same in Serbia?
Look, that is really...
Do you think we are resignated? We talked about our history, and you said inat and dignity of Serbians and what we did in the First World War and Second World War and our strengths. And now we don't cry, but we do not fight.
Exactamente. I talk with you, Maša, and with every Serbian that I met, and I can notice in the spirit a really powerful one. But when I start to talk about the current times, what is happening right now, what is succeeding right now, it's like, okay, everything is like this. We can do something. We are against the situation actual, but we don't have nobody that is...
We don't care. We have our life. We have our individual life and everything. I'm good here. I make enough money to survive. And everything rest
we can do like this, and this is serotonin. We can.
That's why I ask you. It's the same.
It's the same resignation, and but for me in Serbia, maybe I'm wrong, but I think the history. One of the great things that I love from history is that the big change in history. You never know when it's going to happen. You can present it. You can say, okay, maybe this situation, this caused the other, and the other is going to the record. They came teeth and then started changing.
Maybe now is the breaking point when they see all the wars.
Maybe, and for me, Serbia needs a leader. That's the point for me.
We are divided. There is one part of the population who thinks we need an autocratic leader. That's the only way we can survive. Then the other ones think that we need a democratic society with multiple choices. And then there is the third, and I think most dangerous kind of people. Those are the ones that don't care.
Totalmente.
And they are in the majority, I think, and they are the ones resignated.
Gramsci used to say, ellos son el peso muerto de la historia, the weight died of the history, and that is the worst. I am totally sure. You can think one, you can think in the other part, but think and involve in public situation. Of course, Shibot is not simple.
But when you think of it, it's really crazy that you live in a country. It's your country. Everything is your right, and your water, your air, your land, and you do not fight for it. It's like it's someone else. I don't get that point of view.
Me either. And the situation that I looked here is that I think you can imagine how people, how destacat people born in Serbia and stay here, and how, if you think samo sloga Srbina spasava, if that will true, if that will istina. And that
we don't have it anymore. I mean, it's hard now.
It's really complicated. But if you look Kosovo,
divide and conquer. Yes, it's always
even in Kosovo, divided as well.
You probably read about our history in Kosovo. I mean, our greatest history is located there. So, what do you think about that? I mean, you had one interview when I saw you. You were saying Kosovo is srce Srbije. I mean, now they call it the propaganda, and now we're inflaming the population about that idea. And what do you think as a foreigner about that?
I think that Kosovo is srce Srbije, and you can't deny that. And it's a thing that you have to be aware. And I think, how can I tell you? In my case, I think that all this new way of life in the last 20 years, when you talk like that, everything, I don't know if the mass medias are trying to think that we are stupid guys. If you look the propagandas, or if you look the thing that they are, how they treat us, go to consume that, go to do that, and how they impose in the mass population, it's really nocivo. It's really bad. And these things that maybe if you talk with your otage or some older than you, don't think. I don't know why people right now, our generation, we are similar generation.
Yes.
Is afraid to say that and to be convinced
because you're
that.
Busy with this.
I think yes.
Nobody's talking real stories anymore. Now we are not even focused about our own country. As one guest of mine said, we are now the citizens of the world with this thing. Exactly. Now we see Palestinians dying, but we don't know about our people there, because the conflicts are just emerging. At one point is now in Middle East, and then in Russia it can be us. But so it's hard to focus because we now see everything everywhere. It wasn't like that before. I mean, you couldn't see Second World War on a TV. I mean, on a TV, yes, but not on a device like this. Live stream of killings and bombings.
And we say, I think in Spanish we have a phrase, it's called "Estamos vistiendo santos de madera." We are dressing wooden saints with that. We create something that it is not. It's not the truth. It's a fictional thing, and that for me is. I am not again the community. I'm really glad.
Yes, we have this. We are grateful.
Of course,
we can talk freely. At least that's the thing we can.
You have good things and everything. That in every human development. That's for sure. But I think that motivation, that epic thing of what are you going to do with your life, or what you're going to do for your country, what are you going to do for your porodica, for your zemlja, for your narod. That thing that. Now you say, oh, you're crazy, you are a dramatic, Argentino, dramatico, talking that. But one generation before us, or two generations, it was normal. And that is the thing we have to think. And that is totally related with the situation in Kosovo and so on. I know it's really complicated. We have the same stuff with Malvinas, Argentinas. They were stole from the Britons. They stole really
Falklands Islands.
Yeah, they call Falklands because they even stole our names. They even they not only stole our zemlja, they even stole our name. They call Falklands, but they put this name. It's called Malvinas, Argentinas, and it's the same situation. We lost it. Okay, we want to return. We are going to return. We are not going to give this land to them. We are really proud about them. Argentina is a very, very big country, but in every province we are proud about Malvinas. I think it's the only cause in all Argentina. We are same as Serbia. We are, how I tell you before, estamos solas Serbias Pasova. Okay, that is an issue, but we are not united in policy, in football, in religion. But the only thing that we are together is in Malvinas. We have diplomacy. It's the only thing that we have, and I am agree with that situation. I am not in favor of war, but I think that we don't have to let it. And when we lost in '82, we have the same situation. England supported by the NATO, different places, different assembly, but same. we have, yeah.
But is it possible for us to wake up, especially new generations coming in? Do you think that it can be better, or it will be maybe worse?
You know, I am regret now because I talk with some guys, Mali, he have 20 and 21, Lazar, and friends that have a really good portal in Instagram. They share history of Serbia and history of football. It's really good. They mix both, and they give me a Blagoje Jovović t-shirt. We were talking like, and I say I will come here to you and I will show it. It's a really good one, but I left in another place. But what I want to tell you for that is my answer. In this trip, I think I used to meet more than 120 Serbian people in different situations, formal, informal, but always talking, always learning. And I can swear you, Masha, that the new ones generation, or the guys who are finished high school, they are really proud about who they are. I noticed that they are not stupid ones like a lot of people. I am a history teacher, and I work like a teacher in college and high school. And you know, a lot of high school teachers say, "Oh, this new generation, they don't do nothing. They live in there," and because maybe I know they are afraid or whatever. But I know the new generation in Argentina as well. They're having good ideas. We have to listen. But in Serbia, I noticed that, and maybe it's like a subjective opinion, but I think Serbian people, Serbian new generations are proud to be Serbian, and this is really good. And you have to continue working on that, you know.
What are your next plans for the Serbia?
Oh, wow.
You're leaving us. You're going away.
Serbia.
Yes, finally.
Yeah.
For 3-4 months, you're leaving Serbia. Are you saying finally, or are you sad or happy?
Oh, for example, yesterday with my friend Maya Usilac, she's a really good friend of mine, we were crying.
Oh my God. But you're going to come back, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. You know, Latinos, we are
emotional.
But she was aware that is only like a slicka that I can tell you about that. Because how can I tell you? I feel like a deep connection here. I am totally sure that I am going to return. I don't know when. I don't know in which circumstances. I have a lot of ideas in my mind, private ideas, work.
Would you ever come here to live?
Yes, you know, I was thinking. I'm a really good friend of Boeing, the owner of Kafana, Pavle Korchagin.
That's a really good Kafana. Really famous.
My brother, really good. Pavle Korchagin and Oblak. I was being all day with him, with the waiters, really good people, and I said to him, you know, open a Diego Maradona cafe.
Yes.
And but
why
not. It's for me, it's really good, but not only make like a. 50
Don't give ideas to people.
But they do it. I am a generous guy. If they want to take the notice, take it, and then.
But now you're sharing it publicly.
I will be the guest of honor, and that's okay. But I don't have any issue. I'm a really. But I think sometimes maybe who knows to take the chess board and make a good change. I can tell you that definitely I can live here for sure. That I love Serbian people, and I invite to every. I am totally sure that the Serbians who stay in Argentina, they feel the same connection.
And you told me you drink rakia almost every day. But here, because you don't have clubs.
In Argentina, I have my friend Alexander Milovic from Blizu Cetinje. He produced the rakia, and you know the thing here. How I tell you before. I just already know when you met a guy and you are good with him and he's good with you and you start to talk and so on. I know the maybe we Argentinos, what we do, Sagralai, hermano, te quiero, you know, I give. Now Serbian here people are more, but they show your affect, saying you're this is for you. No, this is for you. Now take it or leave. Okay,
eat or drink.
Eat or drink, you know. So I understand now. He's coming. I think if I live in here, I will have to handle that because I love hospitality. But when you have to,
you will have 100
too much
kilos.
Hospitality, yeah, like you know.
And what are your plans when you return to Argentina? Are you you're coming back to your old job, history teacher?
Yeah. I work like a teacher. I have a business, a vintage business that is a private thing, and as well, my main work that fulfill me. I work with local governments. I work with creating historical archives to local governments. I've been creating more than 15 local archives. So in Córdoba, I take all the sources related with the history of the small places with a work of teammates. We digitalize, we organize, and we give to the local government and to the schools, so they can have their history in an easy way to work, to read, to understand. Not only that, because Argentina is a very centralized country. I think Serbia, everything.
It's bureaucracy okay in Argentina, or worse, it's collapsed.
Totally. And when you talk history, always happen that the history is talking from Buenos Aires to the interior. It's like everything that the history in Argentina happened only in Buenos Aires, and it's not like that. And when you go to provincias and you go to small villages, you know that you have a lot of history there. And your place, for example, I say to Mirko, hermano, you have to create between Alexandro, between Karageorgievo, you have to create some place, I don't know, public, private, 50 and 50, but Mali, Serbian generation have to go there and how to
like a monument of history for the area.
But not only like a boring spomenik, but for example,
not a spomenik, but I think a house of it.
A house of it with plays from the Mali generations. Try to with a good gastronomic invitation. Try to do something to interconnect that place that what raised for Thessaloniki survivor. That is one of the most important part of Serbian history for far away. So I think it's more thing to be a proactive. I like to tell a lot of ideas, a commercial idea. Maybe I put together, do it. I think it can be good, and it can good commercial idea, but in the general, the most
important. It should come as a business strategist of a historian point of view to help us, build new business ideas and ventures.
Yeah, exactly. Between business,
we need an Argentinian for that.
Can whatever you want, but that is between history. I think you can do a lot of things, and not only in that place. You can find that in a lot of. In Vojvodina, I do the same. In the south area, I don't want to Brani. I don't have the possibility to be in there. But I think you can work like in regionalize and try to input. Try to decentralize it better, Not in the politics. I understand how it works, the policy, the bureaucracy is more, but at least in the economic things and in the cultural thing, you can do a lot of things. And I in my case, I look a lot of things good, but I think that you can do
better.
Yeah.
Facundo, I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite, because we're approaching to the end of this episode, what's your favorite meal from Serbia? What's your favorite drink from Serbia? And what's your favorite word in Serbian? And I don't want it to be a curse. It cannot be a curse.
About the hrana, that's a complicated question, but I think if I had to choose one...
Teletina is posača.
I think, no, because a sentimental part came from me. Punjena paprika.
Oh my God, sarma.
Sarma.
Punjena paprika. Okay.
Paprika. Okay. Because when I was here, the first time was the first meal that I tried.
Was punjena paprika.
From the mom of Maya, from Vojvodina, from Novi Sad.
Those are the best.
Domaća.
Oh my God. Great. Okay. And what about drinks?
No.
And not rakia, except rakia.
Pelinkovac.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You would agree with my father on that. He loves to drink.
We can go with your dad.
Oh my God! Next time you come with Mirko, we go to Karageorgievo and we drink.
Some tours there to Pelinkovac, And with the pivos, I think the best one at least. Yellen, it used to be better before. I think I choose Nectar Republika.
Oh, okay. And what about word?
and about words. I look all that's complicated to Spanish, like brso, trk, brt. Everyone that has 3 consonants that we are, what? How do you say brso, trk, brt? I like it, how it sound is complicated to us. I think that's you always call my attention because I say I can't. And the shower, like shower.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's so complicated to Spanish, right?
Okay, and the last one, yes. I know you love him, and I think I know your favorite song, Tomica Zdravković. Which one?
If I was to choose one, yes, because I was in Sredjan in the Ulica Duga, that show some the friend of Mirko, Zoran, say this is the dva svijeta različita. I think dos pájaros, dva smo svijeta različita.
Dva smo svijeta, 2 different worlds, yes.
For the melancholic situation that you have in that person.
When you go in kafana.
Yeah, it's like, but the kafana thing, that is the most beautiful thing I noticed. Yeah. It's a way to
when we are sad, when we are happy, when we want to cry, when we want to hang out,
when we want
to take refugee, we go to kafana.
You don't need apoteca. You go to the kafana.
We don't need apoteca.
You don't take your life. You destroy like a glass.
Yes.
Then you go to your
plate,
home.
The glass, everything, the anger.
And then your life, you do in kafana, break like a glass. When you came to your home the other day.
Yes, the new person.
That emerges. Is life, you know.
What would you have the last words for this episode for our viewers? What would you tell the Serbs looking at this, and not just Serbs but the Balkan people watching this?
I can tell you in Spanish and then in English, or only in English.
Well, whatever you like.
I tell you in Spanish because it's more when you talk in another language.
I have to translate that. Okay.
But okay. De corazón, el glorioso pueblo serbio merece sobrevivir. El glorioso pueblo serbio tiene que perseverar. Va a triunfar, va a volver a Kosovo, y le tengo un enorme respeto. I have a deep respect from Serbian people.
I'm going to tell them in Serbian. Rekao nam je da treba da pobedimo, da možemo da izdržimo i da ćemo povratiti Kosovo i da ima veliko poštovanje i divljenje ka nama. I just translated it.
Excelente.
Yes. Facundo, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the marvels that you experience here, that it continues and follows you in Argentina. I wish you to have tons of rakia when you come back home. And I wish you to actually go into business venture in Argentina and open kafana in Cordoba.
That is the other business. So I was telling you that we can make kafana Serbia in Argentina. It will be great between the meso, between the drinks. It will
Talk about with Mirko about that. Anyhow, he wants to expand the business.
Really.
And I wish you to come back.
Gracias,
and maybe even stay, because now you're a part of this country, and I think people already love you and feel you like hermano, your brat.
I feel it, and I really like to meet you, Maša. It was a really good interview.
Thank you so much.
Gracias mucho.
Dragi gledalci, hvala vam što ste bili uz nas u ovu epizodu. Nadam se da će vam se svidjeti. Do sljedeće epizode subscribeujte se i nastavite ovako da nas gledate. Hvala vam za svu podršku. Vidimo se.